What's up? What's going on? I'm the host with the most, Squirrel World. Welcome back. We are now going for the 8th and final badge in this game. So, to start out with, we got some sanitation to do. So, I did forget to use Delta Galladite, or actually I didn't know I should have been using it, but I should have been using it. So now we're going to go get its Megastone, as well as Delta Gardevoire's Megastone. How you do that is you go down to Whirl Islands at the bottom floor where you fought Audrey, and you just pick them up using Tesseract. Next, we're going to go pick up a Delta Combee. It is a Fire Steel type with the Levitate ability, which negates its 4 times weakness to ground. It is going to be one of the central members of our team, thanks to its 4 times resistance to Fairy type. Obviously, when we're using Delta Blastoise, which has a 4 times weakness to Fairy, we need that type of, shield to prevent ourselves from getting one shot. Alright, so we caught it. And we're going to do all the things we usually do. We're going to EV train. We're going to level it all the way up. We're also getting an egg. So, oh yeah, by the way, we're also going to be grabbing Meganium now. A different Meganium though. It's going to be a special attacking Meganium instead of a physical one. Now, this is not a perfect Meganium. I did forget to... or I should say I didn't know, again, I did not know that I should have been getting Grass Whistle on this Meganium, which would have complicated the breeding process. It would have been a chain breed. But either way, we're going to go to Selene City, surf into that lake, dive into it, and then we're going to go to this Grass-type Move Tutor, who's going to teach us Giga Drain. You cannot Move Tutor Giga Drain onto Chikorita. It needs to be a tutor. So those are our stats that you just saw flash by, and now we're going to do some evolving. So Bayleaf again, and then we're going to go from Combee to Vespiquen, and finally we're going to go from Bayleaf to Meganium. And now once we've accomplished this, going to do some move teaching. Vespiquen is able to learn Thunderbolt. We're also going to teach it Energy Ball while we're at it, and I thought about teaching it Flamethrower, but I did not. Now, oh, actually, I did not teach it Energy Ball. I taught it Dazzling Gleam instead. So the toss-up is between Dazzling Gleam and Energy Ball. Energy Ball can hit Swampert and other ground water types, while and Lantern, while Energy Ball, or excuse me, Dazzling Gleam is better against the upcoming bosses. So we've got a Dragon type boss as well as a entire slew of Dark type bosses coming up. So Dazzling Gleam was a choice here. On top of it, does cover your fighting weakness. So that's why we went with Dazzling Gleam here. So moving forward in the story, we are not able to go through this checkpoint because only the vaccinated folks can go through. It is an evil checkpoint being set up by Team Inferno, so we need to go find someone else to help us. We get a phone call from Rukra, who tells us to come to Perfection Base again. At his hideout, he's going to ask us for some Mew's DNA, and we're like, sure, why not? And then he berates us because we're kind of dumb for giving him Mew's DNA, because obviously you know what he's going to do with that. And then Taen says, well, now that you gave us Mew's DNA, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to kill you with this brand new Mewtwo. So I get incredibly, I don't want to say unlucky, but I do get burned here. And because I think he saw the burn status, he went for Circle Throw, which switched me out. Second battle. I'm only going to Calm Mind once. Get hit by Scald, does not do too much damage to me, and then I decide to go for the Giga Drain just to heal off any damage that I've taken. I'm surprised that even with the Calm Mind boost, Meganium was able to hit that hard. Next, we're going to follow it with a Moonblast. Taen is basically a Dragon Trainer, so yeah, honestly, I should have went for Giga Drain there. If I knew he was going to use Coast Combat, I would have. Now, this is going to be a Mega Zebstrika. I'm kind of thumbing it over in my head if I should go for Calm Mind or Hidden Power here. I do go for Calm Mind, but that is a mistake because he's just going to kill me anyway. Yeah, and if I did go for Hidden Power, I would have at least hit it. He goes for Dazzling Gleam. Again, Zebstrika is probably the worst designed Mega of all the new Megas in Pokemon Insurgence. It's just, there's nothing good about it. Nothing. Flygon going from physical to special makes sense because of Amplifier. But Zebstrika going from physical to special makes no sense because it gets nothing out of it. Like, its ability is still, Sap Sipper as a special ability or hidden ability. And then when it evolves, I think it gets Lightning Rod or Voltage-Mode, one of the two. But either way, like, it just doesn't bear out to be a good Mega. So, we do have a good Mega on our team, though. We have this Mega Magcargo. You want to get Toxic here. And as you saw at the end of the last episode, Mega Magcargo is an absolute monster. And then we're going to go ahead and hit this guy with Lava Plume. Boom, down. Yeah, legendary what? We don't care about your legendaries around here. Darmanitan, who cares? Lava Plume for the win. I didn't know that at the time, but Lava Plume for the win. And then Mewtwo. Gonna hit it with Lava Plume. It will survive, but it goes down to its own life orb. And just like that, Taen is gone. So for the third episode in a row, we start out the episode by fighting Taen and beating his behind. So Ruko takes his time to berate Taen for losing to us yet again, which he deserves that. And then he's going to go ahead and give us the connect to go ahead and get up that mountain that we're stuck at because of the checkpoint of evil guys. By the way, Ruger's apparently able to just track everybody. I don't know. He's tracking us. He's tracking Deoxys guys. He's tracking everybody. Like, he just knows where everybody is at all times. All right, so we're back to Dragon Ruins. Here we're going to talk to the Dragon Tutor. We're going to use him to teach our Flygon Draco Meteor. I'm not sure if this is the best idea, per se, but I just felt like I want to try to do like the Salamence set where back in Gen 4, Gen 5, it used to run Draco Meteor even though it was a physical attacker. Well, you'll see how that bears out. It's not all that great on a regular Flygon. So anyway, Damian sneaks through the checkpoint because he is immune to the vaccine, because the vaccine does absolutely nothing except for give you a sample of his DNA. The evil guy Zenith, a sample of your DNA. And now we're going to go up the mountain and we're going to find a couple TMs here. She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. Alright, so the first TM we're going to find is going to be the TM for, don't tell me, Psyshock, yeah. That'd be cool if we were using Mew, that'd be cool for its set. Next one's going to be the TM for Will-o-Wisp. It's going to be in the first cave that you encounter on the way up the mountain. And then we're going to make our way through the rest. There's a storyline beat here about Diana being followed by Darkrai, and then Darkrai being followed by Persephone. It's like that meme with the people in the church. You're aiming at me, but he's aiming at you. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and we're just fighting this guy as a nicety because he's like the last person before we actually reach Deyraan Town. I actually thought I was going to lose this. So Toxicroak is one of the few Pokemon that has a resistance to both of Michaela's stabs. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. T-shirt City. He says, welcome to Deyraan, and yes indeed, we're here. Everything's cold, wet, and miserable. So you can use Psychic on this cart here to get Glalitite if you want to use Mega Glalie. And then after that, we need to find some Snowballs. So, here's Snowball number 1, Snowball number 2. In this house, you're able to talk to this Haunter to get the TM for payback. Snowball number 3. He's going to tell you about Delta Golem. Buy 10 revives at the Pokemon Mart, or more if you want to, but at least you need to at least have 10, because we're going to go over here and get TM48, which is the TM for Fire Blast, but you need to trade 10 revives for it. I'm going to talk to this dude who's going to be the guy that we turned our Snowballs into. He's going to ask us to bring him 5. We're going to talk to this lady over here with the umbrella hat. So you should either get a damp rock. So depending on what team you want to play, obviously, but you should already have an icy rock. So you should pick one of the other 3. So if you're going to run sand, then run color sand. If you're going to run heat, run heat. If you're going to run wet, run wet. If you're going to run ice, I don't know if it makes sense to still get an icy rock from her, but that's up to you. Alright, so we turn in our last Snowballs, and now we're off to the Infernal Hideout. By the way, the Snowball thing is a side quest. You don't have to do it, but if you want the TM for Ice Beam, you need to eventually find 70 Snowballs. So this is not over by any means. I like how they have that TM just floating up out of our reach. I don't know what that TM is. I'll come back later and find out. But speaking of TMs, we're going to get an incredibly powerful TM in this hideout, actually. It is very missable, though, so make sure you don't miss it. So, down here, Persephone is going to get incredibly emotional, and she's going to get us all caught. I don't even know where Persephone was during this entire plot line. She shows up at the end. So Zenith spills the beans that he's able to mind control people, which we already knew because we saw him doing it for the last couple chapters. Or really, I guess just one chapter ago. This plot line started around after you beat Gym 6, yeah. So you pretend to be mind controlled for him, and then he takes good enough is good enough and goes away to observe the other fight. And then we bug this guy. He enters the room with us and decides to fight us. And he's like, hey, it's a fingerprint lock, so you can't get out. What if I just cut off your finger? Like, seriously, no, seriously. If I decide to cut off your finger, what would you do? But anyway, regardless, we're going to beat him up. It's not too difficult. I mean, when you're rocking level 80s and he's rocking a level 60 team, he's not going to be able to do anything. Go ahead and talk to him or tap him to get his DNA. And then, yeah, look around. We're going to go to here. And here's our TM for Corrode. Corrode is such an amazing ability or amazing move. It is a 70 base power special poison type move that does super effective damage against steel types. That is just redonkulously strong. We get Permafrost, which is spikes or live wire, but for ice type. What it does is if an enemy switches out, I think it's like a stack of 5 total. It's basically the same as live wire, but instead of paralyzing, it freezes. Let's put it that way. which could be actually really, really strong, honestly. I'm not running the ice type team, and I'm also not really concerned about it. I don't play hazards. If you haven't picked that up, I just don't. I've never played it. Even when I was playing competitive, I just don't play hazards. It's not the gimmick that I like. I don't know what Kara's problem is, but he does not know how to be a good hostage. So, yeah, whatever. Anyway, we pick up the TM for Captivate, which has absolutely no use. And we're looking around. This is my first time in this building, so I don't know exactly where I'm going. Found a Chansey. Happy about that. And over here, you see a whole bunch of boxes. You can get a max revive here. That's the most important thing you get, that max revive. And then down on the other end, we're going to do some more looking around. There's not going to be anything of importance, though. I'm guessing that's the entrance to somewhere else. We never get to go there, though. At least not in this part of the story. I like this guy. He's chill. We need to follow this guy around. And then one more item is ether down there. If you were speedrun, I guess that'd be useful. I always thought ethers and elixirs were useless when I was playing this as a young child growing up. Like, why would I ever use that? And then I see Scott's thoughts using them all the time. I'm like, oh wow. Like that would take some forethought to realize that when you're making the game, that you would need items like that to streamline the process. And I don't even think they were thinking about speed running, but that's their primary usage is speed running. All right, so now we meet up with Zenith. He's going to apparently take over the entire Zaroldal because he's managed to get everybody's DNA. But a Manaphy pops out. Calref pops up. And then this is the slickest part of the entire game. He gets thrown into a hole. The hardest gym leader gets thrown into a hole. And by the way, I think Calref is the hardest gym leader. I think he's harder than the 8th gym leader. But anyway, we go up against Zenith. Who flinches me 3 times in a row, and I quit. I just rage quit. Starting with Meganium. Calm mind up. And then, ooh, that flinch hurts, but we get the Giga Drain off, and we're back up to almost full health. By the way, I'm using Big Root. That's why I regained so much health. Get basically one shot by Chandelure, though. And then we're going to bring out our GOAT, our MVP, Micargo. It's going to Shell Smash on him real quick. We didn't Mega Evolve that first turn just because I wanted that extra fire resistance. Because I knew this one has a choice something on it. I just don't know if it was a Scarf or a Scarf or what is it? Choice Specs. Yes, Scarf or Specs. Alright, Groudon's going to come out. He's going to turn the heat up. I'm not sure the exact math of this situation, whether it was better to use Ancient Power or Lava Plume here. But in my head, I'm like, look, even if it's resisted, Lava Plume's going to be hitting really freaking hard. And it does hit really freaking hard. And he misses a Precipice Blaze, which makes our life easier. And now, I'm not sure if this Heatran has Flash Fire or not, but I was going to chance it. If it didn't have Flash Fire, then Lava Plume would have obviously been a move, but it is what it is. Another lucky miss, this time on Magma Storm. Lets us set up Tailwind for free, and with that, we're able to basically go through the rest of his team with no worries. Perfect timing on him for that protect to my Tailwind petering out though, but he doesn't have the damage to finish the job. Now, I don't know what we were doing in this tiny little room, but I guess our Pokemon were so powerful that he couldn't help getting blown away and put into a puddle of his own blood. Anyway, that's when the Ancient Oracle shows up and reveals that he was not an Oracle or Ancient. He was just a mercenary working for the bad guys or the good guys or who knows, the ambiguous guys. Honestly, still at this point, I do not know what this guy's who he is and what he does. He just tells us, hey, I work for her, and I know who her is, but I don't know who he is. So regardless, he's going to tell us about how her, I'm not going to spoil that yet, gave Zenith all his mind control powers and all this good stuff, or all this bad stuff. But now he advises us to go ahead and touch Zenith's blood with Mew so that we can become Zenith and use his blood in order to end the nefarious plots of Team Inferno, or the Inferno Cult. Now, we're going to look around a little bit. Again, I don't know exactly where I'm going. Oh. That's a missed edit point for me. I normally edit out all of the bag stuff. But anyway, we gain Heart Swap. Persephone actually helped our friend Nora here escape, which... interesting. She did a good thing for once. Now Persephone is going to ask us to follow her. Why? I don't know. I don't know why Persephone wanted a witness for this. Like, why did you bring me here? Because now we're just going to use... and why is there a Manaphy statue in this random room, which has the switch to release all the prisoners? From a gameplay point, it makes sense, but from a story perspective, it's like, why? Anyway, you can't go back through the base, so you have to talk to Diana, and that ends this part of the plot line. Now, I debated with myself about making this a complete video by itself, just this part of the plot line, but I think it was better to just make it all one big deal, just one 8th badge video. But you'll notice we're a little less than halfway through this video and we just defeated 2 bosses. We've got 3 more to go. So now that we have Heart Swap, we are able to get the TM4 Scald, which is a very strong move. So we're going to go ahead and get that. Over here in Samsara Cave back on Route 5, you can find it. And now we will also be able to get the Garchompite if you want that, if you're running the Garchomp. It's over here. Use Tesseract. And then over to your right, surf around, and it's right there. And also on Route 14, you're able to get the TM for Rain Dance. Now we're going to fly. Now I learned later on that literally you can soar directly east of Mechi Town and get to Slither Forest, but you're going to watch me struggle a little bit trying to figure out how to get to Slither Forest. Like, I reached the end of the world and I'm like, oh crap, where am I going? Okay, here it is. And then you can heart swap up there. And this is going to be another one of our strong teammates. This one's going to be Delta Hydreigon. So we're going to catch a female just because we like the look. Got a timid nature. We don't really need to worry about, well, that's not true. We need to catch one with Hidden Power Ice. We got that put away. The reason we want Hidden Power Ice is for Gliscor, because Gliscor is a really strong counter to Delta Hydreigon otherwise, and Surf isn't quite doing it. We're going to learn Tri-Attack. Its special ability is Intoxicate, I think, which turns normal moves into poison moves and strengthens them a bit. So we're using Tri-Attack because it's a really interesting normal type move that's special. Alright, anyway, now we're able to finally get past Deyraan Cave. To the next route. And here we find somebody who's willing to trade us a Delta Girafarig. Don't do it. It's trash. We want to meet this guy who looks like a Giratina cultist. But this game goes out of its way to keep telling you they're not cultists. But as far as I'm concerned, they're cultists. If anything, they're the most culty of the cultists. Alright. This guy will trade you a Delta Growlithe for any level 52 Pokemon. If you just happen to have that. By the way, if you needed something to trade for Delta Girafarig, you could catch Venusaur down there in the grass in Narra Town. Now, we're going to try to go to the Pokemon League, and we're going to be stopped. So, because we don't have our 8th badge, they're not going to let us through. And honestly, I feel like that's their fault, because they don't have an 8th gym leader, but whatever. Nobody can go to the Pokemon League, because there's no 8th gym leader. And through this last cave, back down to Midnight Town. And we're going to fly over to the starting town, Telner Town. Back to where it all began. Through Shade Forest. Going to go around. Enter the hideout of the Coda Darkrai. I don't think they actually call it Darkrai Base or anything. It's just, they just call it Coda Darkrai, I think. You can seed flare in this room, but you don't get anything out of it. And there's nothing up there, as far as I know. So basically, yeah, going through the closed gate, there's nothing to really gain. But you can go back to the bed where you started the game, the exact spot where you started the game. By the way, I realized that on Persephone's team, you get to fight that exact same Gengar that was trying to basically kill you in the beginning of the game. Now, if you use Seed Flare here, you're able to get the Master Ball, by the way. Just surf directly south as soon as you enter this main chamber. If you screw up and you activate the cutscene a little early, it's fine. You can come back to this room later. This time I don't see a cultist in the circle. I guess she didn't sacrifice anybody. Yeah, looks like she didn't sacrifice anybody this time. She's getting better at this. Less human lives used, the better. She threatens a Darkrai, which sounds like an amazing idea. So basically, she's going to break Cresselia's Pokeball if Darkrai doesn't do what she tells it to, which I guess is an effective, manner. I've got you, little pretty. So right now, Cresselia is a damsel in distress. I like how she says, "Not the cultists." Now, this little white wisp right here, you're able to go back to the regular world through. And that's how you can get that Master Ball if you didn't get it the first time. Otherwise, I'm not sure when this wisp goes away, but it does eventually go away. So, our third boss fight will be against Persephone here. She's going to use Persephone thing, so dark ghost types, which she's been doing this entire time. I make a bad call and basically it's smacked up. And for me, that's a reset. Just gonna call it. Alright, so starting out with Delta Rose Raid is kind of cheap because she has heliophobia, which makes her able to heal a ridiculous amount of damage back off. Like, yeah. But still get sucker punched out, which is interesting. I guess Mega Spiritomb is actually really powerful. Actually, I should put some respect on it. Now, you're gonna notice during this entire chapter in the Dream World, I completely forget to use any type of Mega Evolution. I should have been using it on Delta Blastoise this entire time, and I just completely forget. The issue is, I took Matt Cargo off the team, and Matt Cargo, when he's on the team, he is the designated Mega because Matt Cargo sucks too bad to use normally. So it didn't click with me that, oh yeah, remember to put Megastone back on something else. And right now, the only thing on my team that can take a Megastone besides Flygon is Michaela here. But regardless, Michaela's a trooper. She's going to get through this. Cheeky substitute there. Fortunately, I do not miss this rock slide. That would have sucked. Now, here's a point where I'm forced to use Draco Meteor. I get a crit and it does not KO. And then she uses full restore. Man, this Gengar has been a pain in my side. He's going to sub down again. Surprisingly, Flamethrower does not take that. And then finally, Vespiquen is able to finish the job, barely with 7 HP, by the way. Houndoom comes out. Yeah, she's slow, he's fast. Guess what's going to happen? So Vespiquen goes down to a Dark Pulse. Houndoom tries again with Flygon, but Flygon's not taking that because he's got all this armor on. So he's just like, no, we're going to hit you with Earthquake. And then finally, Hydreigon comes out. We're going to try Draco Meteor, I think. I mean, if I critted that time, it would have killed, but we didn't. So, yeah. And then Rock Slide misses. That should have been, yeah. No, this is just a series of unfortunate events for Flygon. Flygon should have won that. Flygon should have absolutely won that. Yeah, Flygon should have beat Hydreigon just for Flygon. But anyway, Meganium is just tanky enough to eat this Fire Blast and get us through the fight. Now we're hearing about our father for the first time in the plotline. Which, I mean, yeah, we're an anime protagonist, so why wouldn't our father be like away in some hidden realm somewhere with mysterious circumstances? Alright, so right after that Persephone fight, we have another boss battle immediately against our rival Damian here. It's because Mauled, the Deoxys leader, which there's only 2 Deoxys, but whatever. Mauled thinks the only way to to solve the issue of him being stuck in the dream realm is to kill us. So now we're going to start out with Rose Raid. Superpower hurts. We're going to set up New Moon. This may or may not work. It did not work. This is the second fight in a row that Rose Raid has been getting dunked on. And again, this is one where I wish I was Mega. I wish I was Mega because I would have taken less damage. Now, Damian, being a cheater, uses a Max Revive, which that's not Smogon legal. Why are you searching through your bag? There ain't no competitive format where you can do that. I don't do it in my videos either. Like, I've never used a item during battle. Like, if I can't beat him with the move selections and the Pokemon swap outs, I don't want it. Alright. Last up, we got this Venusaur. It is going to get smoked on by our Tri-Attack, which has never actually landed a status effect against... that just annoys me that we haven't landed a status effect. But either way, his weird looking Venusaur goes down. We're going to try to take out Delta Luxray, which is a terrible Pokemon, by the way. But it has a Focus Sash to allow it to survive one hit. We take it down anyway. Now, after beating him, he's going to be like, well, you should have joined our team because you could have saved the region. I don't know what you're trying to do, bro. But our bro, Damian here, is going to give us a crystal piece. I guess he has emotions underneath the facade or whatever. So, that's interesting. There's a chance here to heal us. So, this is where you get the Dark Pulse TM. By the way, these are going to be the side quests that you have to do during this Dream Realm first appearance. Because if you do not do these side quests right here, right now, you are not going to get access to the Dream Realm again until like halfway through post game. So, yeah, go ahead and knock these out ASAP. And post game's pretty long. It's not like a quick little, oh, go to the battlefront. No, it's like you got mad stuff to do, and it's a entire storyline onto itself. So you need to get as much done here as possible while you can. So in pursuit of that, I did catch a V Brava to trade earlier, and I also bred a Cottony earlier in order to trade those. For Delta Yamask, I don't actually care about Delta Yamask because it's a terrible Pokemon, honestly. If you really cared, it would be a Bold Nature, but I don't care. And then also, back in Prion Town, we're going to trade our level 1 Cottony, which was just something we could breed really quick because we need to breed it before. We're going to trade our level 1 Cottony for a Delta Doduo, a pure Psychic type. It is actually a good Pokemon that can be useful at times. It has a very fast Hypnosis that's boosted by Compound Eyes. So Hypnosis with Compound Eyes and Wide Lens can hit 85% accuracy. At 100 base speed, that's pretty dang fast. Like, to compare, Breloom Spore comes out at 70 base speed. So you're 30 base speed faster than Breloom at 85 accuracy. And I don't remember how fast Butterfree is, but it's definitely not 100 base speed. So yeah. Also, make sure to grab that old Parchment so that you can trade it for the Bisharpite. Again, you can't get Bisharp yet. You're not going to be able to get it until early post game. But if you don't grab that Bisharpite now, then you're not going to be able to get it until much later in post game. Here is the hidden grotto for Delta Chinchou. Go ahead and pick that up. Now, my goal when I was trying to catch this thing was to catch it not with hidden power fighting, because hidden power fighting is extraordinarily difficult to get. You need 4 stats that are 30, 26, 22, 18, 14, 10, 6, and 2, and those need to be defense, special attack, special defense, and speed. Very, very difficult to get. But I got lucky. I got extraordinarily lucky. And on top of getting extraordinarily lucky, it was even 30 special attack. Now, Delta Roserade, or excuse me, not Delta, anything. Gothitelle is a good catch here because you're not able to get it anywhere except the Dream Realm unless you have access to the Friend Safari, which I do not. If you're playing on Android, you don't have Friend Safari access, so you need to catch Gothitelle now if you want to get Mega Gothitelle, which you are able to get if you go back to Celine City Gym and use Tesseract. Now, back on Chinchou. So my goal was to get its defense and special attack. Well, special attack as a 30 IV and defense as a any of those numbers I gave you before, 30 and down. But I was not able to do that. Or I was able to get a way better version of that, rather. But the goal was do that to halfway set up hidden power fighting, and then when I get a Delta Ditto, I'll get it with 30 speed IV, and then again one of those numbers as a special defense IV. And then I'd use Destiny Not to breed those together, and I'd get a good enough Delta Chinchou that can use hidden power fighting. However, you don't actually need a hidden power fighting on Delta Chinchou at this point in the game. Anything you're going to fight with Delta Lantern is going to be taken down with Dazzling Gleam instead. There's like one Executor on a boss's team that you can take down with Dazzling Gleam instead, but it's not that serious. There's way more. I mean, even through the Pokemon League, you're going to be using Dazzling Gleam way more. Like, there's one Tyranitar that you could theoretically use hidden power fighting against, but you're just not that fast. Unless you're using some type of Tailwind buff. So it would just one-shot you anyway, because you're weak to rock. So here's the solution to the puzzle to the Erebus Gym. I'm surprised these lasers do not do damage to you. That would be funny if they did. Also, why does the Dark Gym use a light trick? I have questions. Now, we're moving forward. We're going to face our dad, Adam, who is also the first Augur and also the missing 8th gym leader. Yeah, you know, this is straight anime, guys. This is straight anime. And he's also a chosen hero by Hoopa, which I still don't understand why he can't escape this dream realm if he has Hoopa, but whatever. It turns out our dad was actually a fanned out fanboy for Cynthia and all them. Cynthia, King Vesperin, Steven Stone, and whoever this guy on the left is. I guess they came to a vote and decided that letting our weird dad have this crystal would be better than nothing. By the way, look at this Yee haircut. Look at this mouth. I don't like any of these. His facial expression as a sprite looks so weird. Just so weird. I guess that's supposed to be a beard, but to me it just looks like a mouth that's like really weird. Or is it a mustache or a goatee? I don't know. The brown hair look is really weird. By the way, his hair color is decided by your hair color at the beginning of the game. And if you pick brown as a hair color, you technically get the hardest fight possible. Well, you get a different fight. The brown hair color, his Greninja has the move Gunk Shot instead of Taunt. Which, Taunt is worse if you're going to be trying to set up or anything. But Gunk Shot is worse if you're going to be using a Meganium against him. I get burned. He full restores. I try to Earthquake. Does not work. I'm in trouble. I try Draco Meteor. Nothing happens, and I'm down. Alright. Coming back at him. I know Moonblast is super effective, but it's also dark out. So I'm like, which should I use? Which should I use? I don't know the math, by the way. I just went for Moonblast because I have frame of reference that Moonblast hurts Spiritomb even in the darkness. It's like, it's at least a 2-shot. He sends out his Rose Raid. But it's not dark out. His Rose Raid has Shadow Dance, by the way. So if it was dark out, he'd be faster. But it's not dark out, so I'm faster. He sends out his Greninja. Gunk Shot, and yeah. And now I'm in trouble. Okay, that was a crit. But even if it wasn't a crit, I was pretty much dead to rights because I chose to Calm Mind instead of attacking there. And again, just so much damage being done. This Greninja is hard carrying this team. And this is where I figured out, oh, his Greninja doesn't have anything against Michaela, so I should be using it. And again, Mega Michaela would have done so much better here. And then finally, he's going to send out his Hydreigon. Hydreigon versus Hydreigon standoff. But, ouch, that crit. And, yep, I lose. Leading off a Rose Raid. I'm going straight for the Moonblast this time. He goes for Calm Mind. That was a mistake. Or maybe it's not a mistake when we just cheat. But anyway, we still get the 2-shot. Sends out Rose Raid. His Rose Raid will be faster this time. So we need to switch out. That's where our 4x resistance to Fairy comes in handy. He is choiced in, so we can just set up on him for free. As long as he doesn't crit. That is an important part. As long as he does not crit. Because we don't have actual recovery. And I'm getting kind of iffy about if he's going to crit. So I decided to go ahead and hit him with Dazzling Gleam right here, right now. Especially with the darkness being gone. Hey, newsflash, I'm not faster than Tyranitar, so I can just lose there. Still haven't learned to use a Mega Stone to Michaela, but it doesn't matter. Because Michaela just weaves and hits with Aura Sphere. I go for Dark Pulse here, hoping for something. I'm not sure exactly what I was hoping for, but I just go for it. But Michaela is able to take out Greninja, so it doesn't have its chance to sweep us this time. Now, we are very, very weakened by Hydreigon, so we are not going to be able to withstand this Dragon Pulse. But Rose Raid is going to come back out, and it is faster than Hydreigon, so we are going to be able to... It's faster than Hydreigon, right? I don't know what just happened. But anyway, we're going to Moonblast. Anyway, I started blasting. I thought Mega Hydreigon got slower, but maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, we're going to Heat Wave. We're going to miss, and poor Rose Raid's going to get knocked off. I don't know. The one time I want to use Heat Wave, it misses. That's like the first time I actually clicked Heat Wave, I think, in a boss battle. So we get the well done son from our pops, who instead of prioritizing getting us out of this dream world where people are trying to kill us, decided, hey, let's have a boss fight instead. Dad of the year, anime dad of the year for sure. That's definitely par for the course for anime fatherhood. And once you beat him, over here on the west side of town, you're able to learn these 4 very strong competitive moves. And remember, you can't come back to the Dream Realm. So if you don't have the Pokemon that you plan to teach these to right here, right now, you're stuck until basically the end of post game.